Conditional statements. One of the highly tested concepts in the logical reasoning and logic game section is the conditional statements. It is critical to understand this concept. In many questions, your accuracy will depend on recognizing and drawing the conditional statements properly. It's not a hard concept. It's just something that you probably haven't done before. Let's see how conditional statements are different from simple statements. Here's an example of a simple statement. Access Prep loves helping people get into law school. It's a simple statement, straightforward, it's not dependent on anything. Access Prep doesn't have to do anything to be able to love people get into law school. It loves doing it, that's it. In conditional statements, that's not how the things are. One statement is dependent on another. If the necessary condition does not happen, sufficient cannot happen. So that brings me to my second part, which is in conditional statements, we have two parts. We have a sufficient condition and necessary condition. If sufficient happens, the necessary has to happen. Here's an example of a conditional statement. If you love helping people get into law school, then you teach LSAT. Now, this conditional statement means that if you love to get people into law school, then you must teach LSAT. It's necessary that you teach LSAT. If you love getting law school, it's necessary, it's required that you teach LSAT. Which means that if you don't teach LSAT, then you actually don't love helping people get into law school. That's how they are. Let's not worry about whether it's fair to say that or not. Let's just identify two parts of conditional statements, understand their significance, and learn to draw them. Okay? Most of the time, there will be an if-then relationship. If one happens, then the other must happen. No? The part of the sentence, the statement that comes right after if, is the sufficient condition, and the other part of the sentence is the necessary condition. In above case, love helping people get into law school is sufficient condition. And the part that says you teach LSAT is the necessary condition. And that's because love helping people get into law school came right after if. Okay? So that means that sometimes if the conditional statement is too complicated to understand, you just have to look for these keywords and just draw it mechanically. We represent conditional statements with an arrow between them. Sufficient condition comes on the left side of the arrow, then we have arrow in the middle, and then we have our necessary condition on the right side of the arrow. Okay? Sufficient condition, arrow, and then necessary condition. So we'll draw the above example like this. Love getting people in law school, then we have an arrow which leads to teach LSAT. If you love getting people in law school, then that leads to teaching LSAT. You must do that. Okay? We can abbreviate them to save time on the test day. It will look something like this. LGPL, which is love getting people in law school. Then we have an arrow, and then TL, which means teaching LSAT. Now you can use any abbreviation that you want, which is convenient for you. The goal is to save time, to not having to write the whole statement on the test day.